not every single team out there is on an upward trajectory.
What we haven't seen is the Dallas Cowboys make a significant offseason move. They haven't done a deal with any of them. What the hell have you been doing, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones?
The 2024 season is shaping up to be an exciting one, so let's get into it. 5 NFL teams that are ready to improve this season, and 5 that are gonna skid into a decline. Improve? New York Jets. With the way that their defense has developed, the New York Jets have been on the cusp of a resurgence for a couple of years now, with quarterback play being really the only thing holding them back. And 2024 just might be the year that they finally break free from the shackles of mediocrity. The arrival of Aaron Rodgers was the shot in the arm this franchise desperately needed. Now they just need to keep him on the field. If they can manage to do that, his leadership and on-field acumen are set to elevate the Jets' offense to levels that we haven't seen in years. Rodgers, even in the twilight of his career, still possesses the ability to dissect defenses with surgical precision, something the Jets' young receiving core, led by Garrett Wilson, will benefit from immensely. But it's not just the Rodgers effect. The Jets' defense, as mentioned, was already one of the league's better units, and that's poised to take another leap forward, with Quinton Williams anchoring the defensive line and Sauce Gardner emerging as one of the premier cornerbacks in the NFL. The Jets have the tools to stifle opponents consistently, and if they get the situation with Hassan Reddick straightened out, then heck, they will have a luxury of riches. With the Patriots in a rebuild mode and the Dolphins and Bills looking extremely vulnerable, the Jets have a very legitimate shot at claiming the division crown for the first time in over a decade. Combine all this with a hungry fan base and the pressure to deliver, and you've got a recipe for a team that is ready to soar in 2024. The Jets aren't just looking to improve, they're looking to make a statement. Decline? Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, are always in the spotlight, but 2024 might be the year that the lights dim a bit in Arlington. On the surface, it might seem like the Cowboys are primed for another playoff push, but dig a little deeper and the cracks really start to show. After all, they did get humiliated by the Green Bay Packers in the postseason last year after another strong campaign. One major cause for concern is that the Cowboys' offensive line, once the envy of the NFL, is now aging and injuries have really taken their toll. On the defensive side, while Micah Parsons is a superstar, the unit as a whole has some pretty big question marks. The secondary is mighty thin, and if the pass rush doesn't get home, well, it could certainly be exposed. Not to mention the departure of defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who took the head coaching job in Washington. The Cowboys might still be in the playoff conversation for a chunk of the year, but a deep run seems unlikely. Expect a big decline in Big D this season. Improve? Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been in a transitional phase since the end of the Big Ben era, but 2024 looks like the year that they return to the NFL's upper echelon. After back-to-back seasons hovering around 500, Mike Tomlin's squad is poised to break through. For starters, because, well, they finally ripped the Band-Aid off and moved on from Kenny Pickett. Whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, either should be a vast improvement. And with George Pickens blossoming into one of the league's most exciting big play threats, it'll be exciting to see what he can do with a better arm delivering him the ball. The offensive line was a major sore spot in recent years, but has been shored up with some smart additions. On the defensive side of the ball, the Steelers remain a formidable unit. TJ Watt, when healthy, is an unstoppable force off the edge, and his presence elevates the entire defense in a way that few defensive players have ever done. The secondary is pretty solid as well. The group is led by Minkah Fitzpatrick and is opportunistic and capable of game-changing plays at any given moment. The Steelers are built to win in December and January, and could be poised for a major improvement this season. Decline? San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers have been a perennial powerhouse in the NFC, but 2024 might be the year that they take a step back. The 49ers' success has been built on a dominant defense and a creative run-heavy offense, but there are signs that both units could regress. The defense has not looked the same since the loss of defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans ahead of the 2023 campaign. Ryans was the architect behind a defense that suffocated opponents, and his departure to become a head coach in Houston left a void that is yet to be filled. Injuries have been a constant concern for this unit, and if they can't stay healthy, the drop-off could be significant. On the offensive side, the quarterback situation remains murky. Brock Purdy was a revelation, yes, but banking on him to continue to replicate his early success is still a risky proposition. Then there's the schedule. You see, San Francisco faces a gauntlet of tough opponents, including games against the AFC West, NFC North, and AFC East. The margin for error is mighty slim, and in a conference that's only getting stronger, the 49ers could find themselves slipping from the upper tier. While they won't fall off a cliff, cliff or anything, a decline seems inevitable for a team that has been running at full throttle for the past few seasons. Improve? Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers have long been a team with potential, but 2024 feels like the year that they finally are able to put it all together. Largely because Brandon Staley is out and Jim Harbaugh is now in. The talent on this roster has been undeniable in recent years, starting with Justin Herbert, who's often mentioned among the elite quarterbacks in the league. Herbert's arm talent is unmatched, and while his receiving core took a hit with the departure of Keenan Allen, he has the ability to single-handedly make LA an explosive offense. On defense, the Chargers have invested heavily, and it's time for those investments to pay off. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack form one of the most feared pass-rushing duos in the league, and if Derwin James can stay healthy, then that secondary is going to be formidable. They've been a sleeping giant for far too long, and jump-starting those kinds of programs, like we saw him do at Michigan, is exactly Harbaugh's superpower. Decline. Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have been one of the NFL's more entertaining teams in recent years, as they had an electric run behind Joe Flacco last season. But 2024 might be the season where that bottom falls out. The Browns have talent, there's no denying that, but talent doesn't always translate into wins, especially when the pieces don't quite fit together. And plus, there's the whole issue of how over-invested they are from a salary cap perspective in Deshaun Watson, who has looked as washed up as they come since strapping on a Browns uniform. Expecting him to return to his pre-controversy form is several strides past a gamble at this point. The offense, while having weapons like Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper, is built around a quarterback who hasn't shown he can be the leader or player that this team needs. To make matters worse, the AFC North is as tough as it gets, with the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers being all legitimate playoff contenders. The Browns will have to be at their best week in and week out, and there is very little room for error. Unfortunately, their inconsistency, both on and off the field, could be their downfall. The pressure on head coach Kevin Stefanski is mounting, and if the Browns get off to a slow start, that locker room could unravel very quickly, and the season could just completely fall apart. Improve? Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are entering a new era with Jordan Love under center. And while there's some uncertainty still in the post-Aaron Rodgers era, with the surprising success of the 2023 campaign, there has been some optimism in Green Bay. There will likely still be growing pains, but the Packers have built a strong support system around Jordan Love. And now that he's had a full year of experience under his belt, plus the shot of confidence from that postseason push and the upset of the Dallas Cowboys last year, we may be looking at a big-time season out of him and the Pack. Under the steady hand of Matt LaFleur, Green Bay could not only remain competitive, but also return to the playoffs, and maybe even compete for a Super Bowl again. Decline: Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins came out of the gates hot in 2023, but down the stretch, it really started to unravel. And now, heading into 2024, the Fins could be staring down the barrel of a serious reality check. The Dolphins have built a fast, explosive offense, but they're also a team built on a fragile foundation. Tua Tagovailoa's health is the biggest concern here. When he is on the field and playing well, the Dolphins are dynamic, but his history of concussions and injuries raised significant doubts about his abilities to stay healthy, and of course, perform at the top of his game for a full season. The Dolphins will need to be at their best to compete, and the combination of health concerns, a shaky offensive line, and a tough schedule could lead to serious regression. Improve: Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is the driving force behind this team, and now that he is healed up from his season-ending injury, the Bengals will likely be jettisoned right back into serious Super Bowl contention. After all, with each passing season of Burrow's career, he has looked more and more like one of the league's truly elite quarterbacks. He has all the intangibles in terms of leadership and clutch time performances, and his connection with Jamar Chase is one of the most impressive in the NFL. The offensive line, which has been a weakness in the past, has been bolstered by key additions, giving Burrow the protection that he needs to operate at a high level. And it could make the Bengals one of the best offenses in the league this season, not just one that can turn it in on crunch time when they need to. Defensively, the Bengals are also pretty underrated. They have a solid pass rush led by Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, and the secondary, while not star-studded, is reliable and opportunistic. Cincy will of course be up against it in the AFC North, which has been one of the toughest divisions in football the last couple of years. But there is very little doubt that they are well positioned for a major improvement this year. Decline: Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have been a powerhouse in the AFC for the past few seasons, but 2024 might be the year that they start to slide back down the pack. The offense has been way too reliant on Josh Allen to play hero ball the last couple of seasons, and it is becoming increasingly obvious that this is not a sustainable way for the team to exist, especially with the state of the Bills' rushing attack, which, aside from Allen's ability to scramble, has been among the worst in the league. The Bills' defense also lost some key figures, particularly in the secondary, with Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White wearing new unis this year. The margin for error is going to be slim in a competitive AFC East, and if the Bills can't find a way to diversify their offense and shore up their defense, they could find themselves slipping from the ranks of the AFC elite. But which NFL teams do you think will improve this season? Which ones do you think are going to decline? Who do you think we got wrong? Who do you think we got right? Or is there any team that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.